We meet again, Sammy. You know, we wrapped about 5 months ago to the day back in April, all about your new song, Encore, Thank You, Good Night, inspired by, written by, In Your Dream, Eddie Van Halen. And then you were about to embark on the Best of All Worlds residency in Vegas last time we talked. And now, look, there's another reason why I'm looking at you again, the red rocker on my screen. The album, The Residency.
Yeah, listen, all I can say about this record is it's really live. I mean, how many times have you heard that from, every group that's ever released a live album? And
Sure.
probably about 2% of them are really all live. And this is one of the 2%. So there's maybe another one out there. But the idea of a live record to me is trying to take the songs someplace a little bit. You don't want to destroy the arrangement to where people say, "Wow, I recognize this song, but I forget what it is." No,
Right.
you take the essence, and after playing it for years, you kind of take it somewhere, and we really did that, and that was the most satisfying thing of why I said I'm going to release a live album. I'm not just going to release a live album of inferior versions of some of the
Good.
biggest hits I've had in my
Thank
life.
you. Why
No,
would you do that?
well, listen, it's been done.
Oh, I know. I
And that's
know.
why most people go in and do all kinds of overdubs and fix it until it sounds like more like the record. Well, we didn't do that. And
Well, dude, when you got
this,
a band like you have, I mean, you got Joe, you got Mikey, you've got
yeah.
Kenny now. And I watched some videos of you said the last nine shows on your residency run in Sin City were some of the best shows that you've ever played. When you've got a band like that, you don't need to go back in and do overdubs.
No,
It's
you
that
really
dialed.
don't. No, I swear, Joe plays perfect every friggin' night. I mean, he'll make a mistake here or there, but I mean, it's so minor. It's almost like, gee, that almost sounded better than the original. You know. And my having Ray Thistlethwaite on keyboards, vocals, and guitars,
Yeah.
and just about every other instrument he can play. He's really a talented cat. He brings the vocals in, so we didn't have to have any on tape. We don't have any keyboards on tape. It was really
Wow.
live music, and we got to play songs like Right Now and especially a song like Love Walks In without any tapes. It allows you to play the song instead of
Yeah.
playing to a track,
That's
because
amazing.
yeah, no, I'm in love with this record. I've got three live records in my life that I'm in love with. Number one, Jay Giles' Full House,
Nice.
Humble Pie live at the Fillmore, and
Ah.
Frampton Comes Alive. I mean, Frampton Comes Alive. Those records, when you sit down and crank them up, which I still do today, because I
Mm.
got goosebumps just talking about it. They make you feel like you're there. And this record, The Residency,
Mm.
makes anyone feel like you're there. And so mission accomplished. Otherwise, I wouldn't make a live
Well,
record right
yeah.
now.
Well, you don't need to at
No, I
this point.
don't.
No, you don't. And Summer Nights is out now. That's the first song that you and Eddie worked together in the studio for
Yeah,
5150. The first one that you came up. You know, he
yeah.
had the guitar part. You started doing the Summer Nights on my radio, and it all just kind of fell together. That was just kind of trajectory up from there, right?
Yeah, that and Good Enough. They had those are the first two songs we worked on, and then when we played those for hours, and we started just going off and just jamming on blues stuff and playing Cream songs and Led Zeppelin songs and even the Montrose tunes and stuff,
Hmm.
and just to feel each other out and see, we all had the same kind of roots. Um, that was the great thing about Van Halen. Not to change subjects here, but was when I joined the band, we all loved the same stuff. So if Eddie kicked off a riff to a song, yeah, by the Stones or Zeppelin or Cream or whoever,
Yeah.
I knew it too.
Well, of
I could
course,
start
sure.
singing it, and that's
Yeah.
a big deal. I mean, you get and try to get in a band with some guys and go, hey, yeah, I don't know that one. Well, well, I don't know that one. It's like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
stuck there.
Right.
So
Speaking of your time at the beginning of Van Halen, I saw you were at the Ohana Beach Festival over the weekend in Dana Point,
yeah,
hanging with Eddie Vedder and your boys in Green Day and everything. There were a couple of artists that just played. I was at Farm Aid 40 last weekend in Minneapolis, and Lucas Nelson was on that Ohana gig, and Margot Price. I'm thinking of Farm Aid because back in 1985, I'm sure that gig rests very special in your heart. That was the first time that you publicly jammed the first Farm Aid with Eddie on stage in front of anybody.
yeah, it was really really cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but unfortunately, not that many people, other than what was in the stadium, got to see us
I
because,
know. Yeah.
yeah, you know the
But that thing
story.
lives on YouTube, man. I mean, I go back and I revisit that. You doing rock and roll and you trading licks, trade, and just I've got goosebumps now thinking of that. Just reliving
It
that in my
was,
head.
you just gave them to me. They're transposable, transferable.
Right.
But, but earlier on when I did, right before I sang I Can't Drive 55, before I introduced Eddie,
Yeah.
we were live on national TV. I think it was certainly national. I don't know if it was worldwide. It
Mhm.
was live on radio nationally. And I said, here's a song for all your tractor pulling motherfuckers, and played I Can't Drive 55, and they pulled the plug. So by the time I brought Eddie out and the rest of the bands that came on after me, they didn't get the airplay they should have
That's what
gotten.
happened, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I never got invited back, and I'm dear friends with Mellencamp and Neil Young
Sure.
and even Willie, and when I interviewed Willie on my rock and roll road trip, I said, Willie,
I saw that. That was a great episode.
yeah, I said, Willie, why, what, why don't you guys invite me back? And he go, well, I don't know. And I'm saying, was it because of what I said about all you
Tractor
tractor
pulling
pulling
motherfuckers.
motherfuckers? And he goes, yeah, you shouldn't have been talking about a tractor that way. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
It was the most brilliant remark I've heard out of a stoned guy in a long time, because he was stoned.
Right. Did you bring any tequila with you on that tour bus, or was it just Willie was just flying high?
Oh no, Willie he had been smoking,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
he was drinking tea. I'm not sure if it was weed tea, what it was, but I didn't partake in anything on that bus. And I did bring him a bottle of Santo tequila, but
Ah,
we didn't crack it. I thought, this guy's all right. He don't need me.
that's awesome. So you are setting up shop again. Last time we talked, you were saying how touring wasn't really appealing to you anymore, and that you would love to set up shop and do a residency. And that's exactly what you got going on at the same venue that the Residency Live album is in Vegas.
The residency is a retirement place for a guy like me, and people at my age that have a hard time doing satisfying myself on how good my show is, the way I'm going to sing, how
Sure.
much energy I have going out on stage, how much desire I have to get out there on the stage. You travel, you fly for 2 or 3 hours, you get in a car, you drive an hour, you check into a hotel, you get your bags, you unload them. Next thing you know, you ordered room service, you didn't get there in time, you got to head to the show for the sound check. You don't get to eat right, and you come back to your room and it's either too hot or it's too cold. You
Yeah.
can't get it adjusted right. You don't get a good night's sleep. I could go on and on and on. People say, oh yeah, Sammy, you're complaining about being a rock star. No, no, I've done it my whole
No,
life.
you've done
Don't
it
get,
for decades
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I've
Right.
done this since 1972.
Yeah.
And when I got to Vegas and they put me in this gorgeous suite,
Oh, I'm
I can
sure.
get anything I want 24 hours
Wow.
at the drop of a hat, any food, anything. It's just, and you wake up the next day and you're still in the same place. The next day you're still in the same place. Um, and you feel good. And by the time 4 o'clock comes around, where normally you're just getting into town and you're going, man, I feel like
Yeah.
crap. I don't feel like playing. 4 o'clock, I'm going, I'm bored shitless, man. I can't
Let's
wait to
go.
hit the stage. And you know what I'm saying?
Sure, of course.
That's more bang for the buck for the
Yeah.
fan, for the concert goer.
Right.
They get a better show from me anyways, and I believe everybody. And so I just went, man, this is so much better. I feel great. I'm not beat up. And I can sing and we can rehearse. We can on the day off, we play like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So on Thursday, you can rehearse if you want. It's your
Mhm.
room. It's your equipment's always set up. It never comes down. No one's traveling. The crew's in a good mood. You get there and the crew's
Wow.
like, "Hey, how you doing? What changes you want to make in the set tonight? And normally you walk into and say, "Hey, we want to make a change." They're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 man, we're
Oh,
we're
no.
not set up for that." It's like, man, I can't tell you that's why I'm
You're
doing it.
painting a perfect picture right now of your
It's
scenario, really.
it's I hope I don't paint myself into a corner to where uh, everybody and their dog wants to do the residency and I can't find a hole to do it for me, because it's extending my my lifetime on stage. And it really is. I swear to you, I would
Mhm.
probably be rethinking about what you would call retirement. I would never announce a farewell tour because that's just such a money grab and I'm not into doing that.
Yeah.
But and what if I don't want it to be? You know, what if I want to come back? So I'll never say, you know, I'm never going to tour again. I'll never say this is it. But I will say that the residencies are allowing me to feel real good about next year playing, you know, these
Yeah.
shows. And whatever else I feel like doing, I'll do it. But right now, I'm just happy to do that, and I think I could probably continue doing that till I'm 100.
Dude, I can't believe that your birthday bash is right around the corner. 78. That spins my head around. I mean I mean you're operating at the top of your level, and look at you. You look amazing. You sound
I
mind
feel
blowing.
good. I
Yeah.
feel good. You know,
That's all that matters,
it
right?
sure is, man. When I wake
Yeah.
up in the morning, I go, you know, it's always a sound check. You know, in the
Yeah.
morning, it's like, you know, I lay there for a few minutes, stretch around a little bit, get up, you know, do some stretches, maybe some
Sure.
calisthenics, some little floor exercises, and I'm going, yeah, I feel great. I mean, I can do anything I've ever done. Uh, some things I don't want to do anymore, like climb up trees and stuff. You know? I
Don't
mean,
pull Keith Richards on us and fall on your head.
exactly,
Yeah.
man. I worry about falling every now and then down the
Yeah.
stairs or something of not paying attention. Uh, I'll give some older guys out there some warning. The first thing you don't do is you don't walk downstairs looking at your cell phone. Okay, you're walking downstairs. You better be paying attention walking down them
Yep.
stairs. You know. But other than that,
Dude, I see people, I see zombies everywhere. Everybody's got a freaking phone in their hand, looking like a complete idiot. You know what? Be in the moment. Put your phone away. If you're walking, walk. Pay attention to your surroundings,
yeah, no,
especially in,
I'm
in this day and
a
age we're
firm
living in.
believer in that. You know, you got to stay
Yeah.
alive because
Yeah.
you're right. You get attached to that thing, and pretty soon you're doing everything on it and not really experiencing real life. And it goes with texting and emails and stuff too. I mean, every time somebody texts me, you know, I just call them right back.
Good.
I say, hey, dude,
Good.
old style, right? Let's talk. What do you want?
Right. Right. What do you
You know.
need? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much quicker and easier, and you don't
Yep.
say the wrong shit. You know, like when you have those auto auto word correct or
Autocorrect.
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, and you sit there saying, you know, you fucking pissed me off. No, I said, no, no, no. I said, I fucking have to take a piss. You know,
All
it
right, we've
says
got
it's
11 shows next year in March and September at Dolby Live Park MGM. That is the exact venue where the residency album was done, coming on the 10th. And that is where Motley is in the midst of doing their residency. And I'm bringing this up for you know why. Big social media posts about Sammy Hagar, Tommy Lee, and Chad from Nickelback in the studio banging out a new song, a new project, and Charlie from Anthrax Pantera fame could be involved in some capacity. Is that true?
well, no, we were all in a place at the same time. I went to a studio with Chad Kruger.
Yeah.
He wrote a great song, and he said for the new Nickelback, you know, he's got a bunch of great. I mean, this next Nickelback record, from what I heard, oh my God, this guy's
Wow.
an
That guy's
amazing.
a machine, dude.
He's an amazing songwriter and an
Yeah.
amazing singer, I got to tell you. But his songwriting abilities are crazy. So he said, "Man, I wanted to channel you. You know, you're always writing all these really positive songs. You know, dreams and about making people feel good and lifting their spirits up. You know." And he said, "You're like the king of that." And he goes, "And I said, I'm going to channel Sammy and I'm going to write a song like that." So he writes this
Okay.
song and it's very uplifting. It's really awesome. And he said, "So just for fun, I sang it." And I put AI, your voice, on it. And he
Whoa.
goes, and you sing it so much different. It blew my mind. And he's going, so would you sing on it? And I'm going, I listened to the AI version and I'm going,
Did it
hell,
sound like you?
why don't you just use that? That guy's singing better than me, you
Oh, come
know?
on.
And oh, it was good.
Really?
It had all my inflections, and
Wow.
I'm not an AI guy at all,
Me
but,
neither.
this impressed me. Not that I would use it, but it impressed
Mhm.
me. But anyway, long story short, so I went in to do it. And, yeah, the guy from Pantera was there, and
Yeah.
it's a studio complex, and Tommy comes pulling up, and Chad goes, "Hey man, maybe you want to play on this song Sammy just sang on," and so
So it was that off the cuff, really, to get him
yeah,
involved?
yeah,
Cool.
it's like I don't even know what's going to happen with this stuff. I probably shouldn't be talking about it that much, but it's not like a project. I'm just going to co-sing a song
Yeah.
on a on Nickelback's next record, and Tommy's, he's always fun. I've known Tommy for 100 years,
Forever.
and
Yeah.
so I just looked. I said, "Are you?" Somebody was there with a camera, and I said, "Are you rolling?" It's a friend, somebody that works for Nickelback. I
Yeah.
said, "Are you rolling?" He said, "Yeah," and I just said what I said. Hey, here we are. I guess you wonder what we're doing. Well, so do we, or whatever I said. It was totally off the cuff.
Really.
Yeah, and then the
That's
guy
awesome.
sent it to me. He said, "This is pretty cool. Can we post it?" I said, "Shit, I posted it before them."
Yeah.
and and yeah, it just blew up, and it's got mystique. But no, there's not
Yeah.
a project between all of us. I would love it. I mean, the first thing I thought of was, wow, how cool would that be? Here we
Yeah.
go. Two lead singers. Projects are always about a guitar player and a singer and a drummer and a bass player and maybe a keyboard player. But having two singers and two guitars would be great. But Nickelback's got a
Yeah.
new record they're working on, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm honored to be a part of one song.
I can't wait to hear it. It's going to
Me
be killer.
too.
Before I let you go, I've got to ask you. I heard that you want to be friends with David Lee Roth, and I love this. I love this about you. I love your positivity in the negative times that we're living in right now. He said some really cool things about you on stage on one of his shows. Also talked about a dream that he had with Eddie Van Halen, and you believed him. And you're like, you know what? I think it would be amazing because the press has been trying to pit you guys against each other for the last 40 years, since 85. I mean, I know the 2002 tour didn't end so well, but you said, I think it would be amazing to hang out with this guy. Everybody around us would have probably more fun than we would, but still.
assuming, uh, assuming David behaved himself,
Yeah,
yeah, we could. It's not like it's my wish list or my bucket list.
sure.
It's just that Dave he's so unique, and to me, he's so over the top entertainer.
Yeah.
That I'd like to hang with them under the circumstances where we've let all this crap go, because I've certainly let it go. Anybody that wants to compare us today is
Right.
crazy. If you want to compare our old stuff, well, you're just as crazy, because
That's ridiculous. It
it's
really
both
is.
great, and we
Yeah.
just both did the best we could at the time, and
Yeah.
now we're doing what we're doing. And so let all that go and not try to be competitive with Dave. And I'm sure he'd be a fun hang for a while. I mean, I'm sure there'd become a time to go, what, you want to what? You were thinking what?
Right.
but
Right.
but yeah, I'm serious about it. And when he said those things about me, about being a great singer and things like that, and
Mhm.
has a great catalog, I'm going, see, he's now getting past it too, because he's never ever complimented me on
Right.
anything that I know of anyway.
That's great to hear too.
And
It
it
really
was,
is.
and I thought
Yeah.
that's very nice. So if you're
Yeah.
going to be nice, if you want to be nice, then I can be nice, and I don't want to dig any ditches again. I
Sure.
just would never want to dig any holes
Yeah.
and go down that. It's just so stupid. I'm
Waste of
telling you,
time.
the easiest way to put it is that if you want to compare Dave and I, now we are doing two different things. He's doing his catalog, I'm doing mine, and guess what?
Yep.
I'm doing some of his too, because
Yeah.
I love, Panama. I
Right.
love it. And Mike, he can sing "Ain't Talking About Love" as good as anybody. So,
Of course.
we throw a couple of those songs in a set just for the fans. That's for the fans and
Sure.
for my enjoyment. I don't care if it's a Led Zeppelin song, an old Van Halen song, a Rolling Stones song,
Yeah.
a
Do it
Who
all.
song. I love cover tunes, and
Yep.
to me, a song like Panama is a cover tune.
Yeah.
For me, it's a cover
Sure.
tune,
Of
and
course.
I got one of the original guys in my band, so
That's a
it makes
win-win,
it,
man.
yeah, it makes sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, all those songs from your 40 plus year catalog are in this Residency album coming out on the 10th.
Yeah, I
Best
think
of
there's
all
20
worlds.
some songs or something. There's a few of them that didn't make it because we didn't have a good night of it where it didn't sound, as good or better than or different enough
Yeah.
to put on the record. And that's the crest of it. I'll be, oh, why didn't you put this song or that song? I'm going, listen, if it would have been up to par, I'd do it. But all these other songs, we didn't have to fix nothing, man. If there was a background vocal part, a real dominant part,
Mhm.
that was off key a little bit, we just took it from another night. We didn't fix it.
Ah, yeah.
We
Just
didn't
comped
go,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
comped it in,
Yeah.
for two words, like maybe like, summer nights or something like that.
Sure.
Okay, just move it in. And we didn't have to do much of that. Trust me. This is
Awesome.
live. Anybody that was there, they're gonna go, wow, yeah, that's what I heard. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna be like when they watch this, they hear this new live album. Like a lot of times people hear a live album, you go, wow, I was there. I don't remember. I remember them butchering that song.
Right, right.
And all
Well,
of a sudden
I
it
missed
sounds,
it this time. I plan on making it either March or September of 26, man. Looking forward to that.
come
Best
on,
of all
please.
worlds.
It's a great
Sammy,
venue.
you're the man. I
One of
appreciate your
them.
time.